is a new song. It's called Why Can't I? Why can't I change? Why can't I go to sleep at night and dream of only you? Keep my friends at a distance, better when I see them. Keep my love by my side. I'd rather sleep with my friend. I just wanna talk to you. I don't think you listen. You gotta listen hard enough to hear the words I am skipping. Why can't I change? Why can't I change? Sleep at night and dream of only my heart is not beating, it's just separated into pieces, one for you, one for you and for you.
It was pretty much split down the line. Yeah. Some people were offended and some people really loved it. So,
yeah.
And
is it art or is it porn? Was the whole big question, like for the majority of the audience there, you know?
Yeah. But it wasn't really that crazy of a thing, I don't think. It was more of like a representation of the album and the work on the album. And it was kind of just to represent like the personal, vulnerable aspect of the album, but also like the idea of like finding strength in your vulnerability and like being nude is like very like
empowering and also like terrifying. I guess, to some people.
Exactly.
I guess everyone.
I know. Yeah, it can be a really stifling atmosphere, and you really stick out if you're like a openly creative person in the South. You know, it's like it's a different. It's so different than most people in the rest of the country can even really understand, you know? But I also think in a way it's stimulating because it's like there's something to rebel against. Yeah, it's challenging. It's not just like a free, open...
It more interesting.
Yeah, it's easier to push people's buttons.
Not that we're necessarily trying to push people's buttons, but when it happens, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, but it is like... It is important, you know, to sort of like push against social boundaries.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think really our intentions either. We were just kind of I think we just pretty much do whatever we want to do, and it's not really necessarily about, or I didn't feel like it was like trying to make some kind of statement about anything. It was just like, this is who we are, we like to have fun and be crazy, but I don't know, you grow, and you know, as artists you can't, you know, continue down the same path, or, you know, things get stagnant, and you also like lose focus of what, you know, what you actually want, you know, following your own intuition of what kind of art you feel like making, you know, instead of just being like, well, this works, we do this again, you know, constantly staying challenged and kind of forcing yourself to do things that are kind of scary to do, or, you know, difficult. Well, that song's been, me and Jessi started writing that song when we were writing Screws Get Loose, but it got put on the back burner for a while, and it's gone through so many different transformations. But I mean, there's still original lyrics in it, but I rewrote kind of the theme again when we were working on Borderline. But yeah, we wrote it together. You know, I always liked the idea of the song and wanted to write that song, wanted to get that, you know, idea out there. But yeah, that song took some time. We've got a video coming out for it soon, so maybe that'll give you some new visuals and ideas of what that song is.
Well, Blur the Line is definitely, I mean, that song, I mean, it's also about, it's about like the good and evil sides of myself, and the male and female sides of myself, but also like a large part about just like being like, what's the difference between being creative and crazy, you know? Because it kind of feels like the same thing, and maybe it is. I don't know.
And those aren't necessarily opposites. Those are closer to the same.
There's several opposing forces that run through the album, and I would say like sanity and insanity is kind of one, and good and evil, male and female.
Kind of like Mother Earth, or like, you know, earthiness, nature and
technology kind of.
Are
so
also something that we touch on.
Mostly autobiographical, but it's really just, I mean, some parts are kind of like tweaked in creative license, you know, but that song was really just like me like being totally like neurotic, freaking out about a bunch of stuff, and just sort of like, you know, thinking about all this shit that was messing me up, and then, you know, also thinking about the whole world and like what's the worst, I mean, what's like bringing everybody down, like just fear, and, you know, like there's a lot of people who are in a lot of way worse situations than me, and I felt like if I just like wrote a song about how like the things that I was most worried about and most afraid of, and just like, you know, put it out there to everyone and just said, I'm not afraid of it, then it would like maybe help other people like in their own situations say that they weren't either, you know, even if it was just for 3 minutes while they listen to the song, you know? That was kind of the idea.
I think it's a good thing for like everyone to listen to right now. The world's scary, and like just to remind yourself that like, you know, there's real things to be afraid of instead of like such trivial daily whatever. Everyone's kind of neuroses.
And anything could happen to anybody, but like the only way, really a way to get through anything is to just like conquer that fear, you know, and just
live through it, face it.
Yeah.
I think just doing what we've been doing and just learning from living, not, you know.
I think it's artist's intuition,
Yeah,
you know,
artist's
just like
intuition.
the pursuit of art,
Being stimulated by
perfecting the craft, you know, like always taking it up a notch and getting better and challenging ourselves is really more so like how we got where we are now. Just not wanting to just get stuck in the same thing and be the same thing and be limited to one thing forever. That was the intention. I mean, it's honest in the way that like the songs are really all very personal and about us, but it's also not the whole picture either, you know. It's like it's a small scrape of the surface of who we are, and you know, so it's not honest in the way that it's like when people say if you don't tell the whole truth, you're not telling the truth, because, you know, there's still a lot more to know and a lot more that's left out too. So but I would say that like that everything that is, you know, included is, for the most part, as straightforward as we could get it. The intention was really just to share our experiences, but then it's like our experiences involve pushing the gender boundary. So, you know, it's like, I guess it's not way to put it. It's not like we sit down and we say we want to write a feminist song or we want to be feminist. It's just like we're women. We're writing songs about like our lives, and it just happens to be that we're women, you know, so it's going to be about that. But playing music and being in a band can be really empowering, and like I mean, it's been like a very like traditionally male thing, so it's also kind of like embracing that side, that really masculine side of us that's like, you know, like that just wants to be like really powerful. And I don't know, it's just cool that you can have the best of both worlds, I guess. Because, you know, to us, I don't feel like
it's
we
still
really
a pretty
feel like
male-dominated, you know, rock and roll is still, I mean, there's still more male musicians out there, like, playing rock and roll than there are women.
Yeah.
You know, that it's, you know, there's more now than there used to be, but it's still, I mean, that's still the way it is.
I just feel like sometimes it's like people are like, oh, you guys are really powerful women, but like I don't think that they realize that in our heads we're just like, we're not we don't consider ourselves different from like everyone else who's playing music. We're just musicians, and it's like we might as well just be one of the boys, you know, but we know we're not boys and we're not trying to be boys, but it's just like, it's not like from my view, my perspective, we're just all the same, you know. I mean,
most of the time.
You know, yeah, like it's not like, but I understand that seeing it from the other side, it's very distinct that it's like two women,
Right.
you know?
Get asked, like, so what's it like being women in a rock and roll band? And it's like, why aren't you asking our dudes what it's like to be dudes in a rock and roll band? You know, like, who gives a shit? I don't know. I guess people still want to know.
I can only speak for myself, but I'm having a hell of a time here.